Stay connected with what's happening in the Kadena Force Support Squadron with Cup of Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Wow, thanks. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. I know. Wow, man, Gary, is that our normal crowd? Or are they just a little more excited about seeing me today, huh? Is that what it is?
It's all you. It's post-typhoon thrill.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, is that my cup of coffee sitting up there, man? Right over there, off to the side. Is that? Oh, man.
You mean this?
Yeah. Hey, 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 hey.
Mmm.
Now you got to wash my cup. Hang on to that. I'll be up and get it after we get through with this a little bit. Here, welcome to Cup of Joe. Okay, we're going to do something serious today. This is about disaster preparedness. Red Cross is coming. Gary.
Betty's excited.
Betty, you get excited about the strangest things. Anyway, Red Cross is coming. Gary Bailey, the station manager, is going to be here with his public affairs gal. God, I shouldn't have said that, huh? Public affairs person, Erica. And we're going to talk about all kind of stuff to do with the Red Cross. You'll be amazed of all the things the Red Cross gets involved in. And like disasters and typhoon stuff. And
that is some weird, wild stuff. That is funny. I did not know that would be so funny.
Yes! How come you can't do the Ed McMahon part, huh? Yes, sir. All right, Red Cross right after this. Be right back.
Want to meet the love of your life? The Cheesecake Factory Cheesecakes. A dozen choices. Have a slice or take home a whole one. You can only find love like this at the Rocker.
If you want to be the best, then you have to use the best. That's why we buy all of our gear at Reisner Sports Pro Shop. No matter what the sport, they have you covered from head to toe. And it's all top-of-the-line brand name gear you can't buy just anywhere. If you want to be the best, use the best, y'all.
Top-of-the-line name brand apparel, equipment, and accessories. The Reisner Sports Pro Shop, next to the Kadena Tennis Center.
Would you rather do this or this? Don't waste your precious time doing laundry when we can do it for you. Kadena hosts the largest laundry and dry cleaning operation in the world, and you can take advantage of our rock-bottom prices and our stellar customer service. Drop off your laundry and dry cleaning at either of our 2 locations. Then you'll have more time for this. Kadena's laundry and dry cleaning service will set you free.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to another Cup of Joe. This is actually, I'm going to classify this, Gary, as one of our more important Cup of Joes. Now, I know that's hard to do because I'm here with Red Cross, Gary Bailey, the station chief director guy.
Manager, yeah.
It's hard to get all that on a name tag.
It is.
And Erica Curran, who is public affairs.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to talk shop, right?
Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
Now, first, right off the bat, let me ask you, because when I think Red Cross, I think disasters, I think emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
You guys deal with that stuff?
Absolutely. We've got a very vibrant volunteer disaster program.
Now, like, I guess nowadays, for people like us that live overseas, disasters like the Fukushima thing, it's on the front of our mind. Also, we're in typhoon kind of weather. So let's talk about that side of the Red Cross first. Let's talk about the disaster preparedness stuff. And how involved do you guys get in like a Fukushima, the whole disaster thing that happened up there with
Ready? I'll give you. Let's start with that to begin
Okay.
with. The American Red Cross is all about preparedness. That's our motto. That's our mantra.
preparedness as far as
Being prepared,
ready before
being-
something happens.
Absolutely. And that's the key to surviving disasters, is being ready.
Ah.
And a lot of people overlook that fact sometimes. They think, it's like the commissary the other day, where in T-Corps 2, everybody goes to the commissary.
I know.
Not the best time to go to the
No.
commissary.
An hour later, your ice is melted by the
Yep.
time you get down there.
And you have what, 8 hours of typhoon.
Right.
What's,
Yeah.
I don't even want to try to figure that one out because we'll be here for hours. But
Okay. But what we do here is that we try to prepare people for any type of disaster because we have a wide variety of things that can occur here. There's the natural disasters. There's the typhoons, which we're guaranteed to get every year. There are earthquakes that we experience year-round. Some of them are so minor that nobody even notices. Others are strong enough, 5s and 6s, where the chandeliers and the lights start swaying
Yeah.
and such. And there is the potential for that Category 9 that they had up in the mainland, which caused the tsunami and all that the destruction and everything. But we're on the ring of fire, the same fault line as that one occurred at. So that potential is here. And it's our job to prepare people for any of these types of disasters.
Well, yeah, I guess, is preparation different? Say, for example, to prepare for a tsunami, is it different than a typhoon or an earthquake? Okay. Or is it pretty much, water, flashlights, that kind of stuff?
Well, that's the real nice thing about preparing for disasters is they're all pretty much the same. There are guidelines for everything. The primary thing is immediate mobility. You need to be prepared to move quickly in the event of a disaster.
In other words, as the tsunami's coming, you need to be able to get out of there.
Absolutely.
Is that what you mean?
Or to leave your home in the event of power outages and you need to go someplace safer. Power outages in the summertime could mean extreme heats, or in wintertime it could mean extreme colds. Dangerous situations when power goes out. In flooding, you need to get out right away. There's a lot of flood zones. Quite a few people live off base, and the majority of them want to be down near the water, and those are the areas that are flood zones that people need to be able to get out of quickly in the event of a tsunami or just a major storm like we're having right now. Yesterday, there was flooding all up and down the highways from something recent. But what they need to do is to prepare basically a disaster kit. And that's the thing that we really push people for, is education on disaster kits. It's a list of things that they need to have in that kit.
Okay, well, before you get into some of the things, is there a place to go to find out what's on a disaster list?
Absolutely.
Do you have a place? I mean, so in case they're not writing it down right now?
Real easy website.
Okay.
redcross.org.
Redcross.org. I've heard that name before somewhere.
Redcross.org.
Okay.
You type that in. You don't need the HTTP or anything. You just type that into your web page, your web address, and it'll pop up.
And it'll have lists.
It'll have lists across the top. There's a banner there. You can, get prepared for disasters. You click on that, and it'll take you to a variety of locations. How to make a plan, how to put a kit together, things you need to put in your kit, things to do around your home to prepare it for different types of disasters, what to do during the disaster, how to shelter in place if you can't get away. And then there are things that people never think about when it comes to disasters. We talk about preparedness a great deal, but we need to prepare for the aftermath as well. A disaster can be very traumatic. Yes. To everyone in the family.
But what happens afterwards?
Yeah, what happens afterwards, dealing with the results of that disaster. We have information on dealing with that as well. How to psychologically prepare yourself for a disaster and for the recovery afterwards. What to do when you return home after a disaster of different types. We have about 12 different sheets that we have available at our local station that people can stop by on 12 different types of disasters and the differences between the little things that they need to do for the different types of disasters.
Now, I know, Erica, you guys have like a slew of classes, and we'll talk about
We do.
all those too. Is one of them have anything to do with preparing for disasters?
No,
or-
we don't have an actual disaster prepare, but we do have CPR classes or,
Other handy things that you're going to need to know.
yes, medical, help you first
All
aid
right, well, let's
and
talk
stuff
about some
like
of the
that.
classes. We'll come back to the disasters. but-
Okay.
In them, you could talk about some of the disaster classes that we have that help prepare people to work with the Red Cross in times of disaster. And those are all free.
Like, for example, what happens?
Shelter operations is one of the courses we teach, and this trains people to work in disaster shelters.
Oh, so this is training people
For
to
our
be a volunteer.
volunteers.
Yes, yes. Train them
So-
to be a volunteer, either with the Red Cross or one of the other organizations that responds in times of disaster, or working with the military. Here overseas, it's the military's responsibility to set up shelters, but they can't man them all by themselves, and that's where volunteers come in.
And these
Either Red Cross volunteers or just volunteers
Volunteers in
locally.
general.
And these people need training.
Absolutely.
In other words, it's not just show up and go do this. It's something you need to have some training on.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, because you're going to be exposed to a variety of situations and dealing with people who have been suffering traumas. And there's believe it or not, but a disaster shelter is like a small community. There are a lot of things going on in a disaster shelter, and you can't just walk in and know how to deal with all different types of things or how to prepare for certain things. So that's why we provide this training,
So-
and it's all free.
Yes.
So say we do have a big earthquake here, all right? What are you guys, what are you guys, I mean, are you prepared?
Oh, we're always
I'm
prepared.
talking
We're the
about
Red
as
Cross.
the Red Cross. I'm not talking about at home, but I'm talking about the Red Cross. I mean, tell me what goes in motion.
We have a DAT team, correct? And Jerry knows more about that than, or Gary
A
knows more
DAT
about that
team.
than me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Disaster Action Team.
Yes.
And that team is actually here and active.
Yes,
Yes.
we have
And they're
about
in
22
constant
members.
training.
Yep, we have
Can
22
you join
members.
that if you wanted to? Can
Yes, you
volunteer
can.
Yes,
for
it's
this?
one of the volunteer.
And they got a
can
class
volunteer
for it.
They do. They have tons of classes for everything.
Okay. So the DAT team goes into action.
The DAT team goes into action. We're notified by the EOC that there's a situation where they need assistance. One of the things that we do is we provide respite care to first responders, fire, police.
Respite care. I'm
Respite. Respite care is a firefighter. He's at a fire. He's fighting
Right.
that fire. He's all hot. He's sweaty and he's tired. He needs a break. Where's he going to go? He's going to come over to the Red Cross Respite Center. And we're going to give him water, and we're going to give him electrolytes to add to that water, and we're going to have him a
Okay.
shady place that he can sit down and he can relax, but he's not so far away that he can't respond
Yeah.
back to the
It's
situation.
just a place to go for a breather, really, to
To take a break.
kind of gather yourself and get back at it.
Yes. And we provide that to all of the first responders. We generally set up near the incident command post, which is at the scene of what's going on. And we
And you would
provide
have one of
that
those
care.
here.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, we do. Another thing that we might do is we would help people in the event of a shelter was opened up by the military, then we would also help man that shelter. We would work with the clients there at the shelter to inform their families back in the States that they're safe and well through our Safe and Well website registry. We get the information from them, we put it out on the website, and then their families in the States, rather than trying to call them and probably can't
Which
get a hold
probably
of
won't
them,
And we'll
work.
probably
find
won't
them.
work,
That's
and
what
it puts a
happened in
strain
Mainland
on the
when earthquakes
infrastructure.
happened.
They can go to this website, and by knowing their name and their address, they can put that information into the website, and then they can pull up the message that this family wants to leave to its loved ones, saying, I'm at the shelter, I'm okay, I'm fine, or we're at home, everything's good, but the phones are out, we'll contact you when, the phones are back up and stuff. Basic messages. Or some may be leaving the island to go back to the States, and they can put on their arriving in Dallas on Thursday at 5, hope to see you then, can you
Right.
come pick me up, sort of thing. Any type of message that they want to put in there.
Yeah, I guess until I sit down and talk with you guys, you don't realize the mountain of details. I mean, I guess when we think of disasters, we think of the worst parts, the food, the water.
Yes.
You don't start thinking about the daily, day-to-day things that you got to deal with those too. I mean,
You
like
do.
letting people know you're okay, where you're going to sleep.
What are you going to do with your pet?
Exactly.
We have,
Wow, that is a good
and that's something the American Red Cross learned after Katrina, was that we need to address the pets because a lot of people perished because they didn't want to leave their pets behind. So now we have pet-friendly shelters that we establish. And here on Kadena, we have made arrangements with the Animal Rescue Unit here, ORS, and they will man a shelter for the pets so that they can be taken care of as well. So people don't have to worry about leaving their pets behind or what's going to happen to their pets. Bring them with them. Bring them in one of the kennels, and we'll make sure that they're taken care of.
Kennel, that's probably important. Yeah.
That's important as far as your disaster list. You know, if you've got a pet, you need pet food. You need a kennel for your pet to be in.
Yeah.
You know, you need your veterinarian and vaccination records. You know, and as well as
Yeah, see what I'm talking about? It just goes on and on. I mean,
it goes on and on.
I mean, I know I'm gonna forget something. I just know. I mean, I can't even take a trip back to the States without forgetting something. Can't imagine.
That's why we provide a list. Look for us on Wednesdays. You know, during the season, often every other Wednesday or so, we'll set up an information booth at the BX.
The DAT team will be there.
Try to do this at least once a month and pass out information. Shopping lists that people can take with them in, and they go down the list. Oh, I need this. I can pick this up. I can pick that up.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. A lot of people, when they look at our list, they say, "Oh, I got all that stuff at home. I'm sure I got all that stuff at home." But what I like to tell people is, okay, go home tonight when it's nice and dark and put a blindfold on your eyes and go around your house and gather all that stuff up.
So you're saying gather it and put it in a...
Put it in a central location in your home, so you know where everything is.
Get your duffel bag or a box.
So everything is all right there. You don't go running around the house.
You don't have to look for it. You know exactly where it's at. And we recommend a duffel bag or a good-sized backpack or something you can grab and go with.
Grab and go.
Have your important paperwork, things that you're going to need if you do leave.
Boy, then that makes the grab and go thing get, I mean, you better be strong, right? I guess the adrenaline will be pumping.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you may be strong.
I guess there's different types of grab and goes. There's the, just the basics. Then there's, papers would be, if it was a tsunami was coming, I don't think I'd be worried about papers. But
if you make photocopies of all of those important papers, put them in a plastic Ziploc bag and put that in your little disaster kit, then in the event of something like that, you grab it and you go. You won't have any problem. You won't have any worry. It'll be easy to replace because you got a photocopy, you show it to the authorities, they can replace it right away.
And you don't think you need it until something like that actually happens.
I know, that's the problem with
I'm sure
all
a
this
lot
stuff.
of people, when the earthquakes happened, didn't think that anything like that would ever happen and that they needed that type of equipment. And then aftermath, you see them all and they're in shelters and they don't have all this paperwork that you think you need. So
yeah, and I think that's what, with all with all the video and things that we've seen over the last year of the disasters that have happened up in mainland Japan, it makes us a little more aware. Like, we're kind of in a neck of the woods where that kind of stuff happens. So
I think a lot of people downplay it as well. Oh, there's a storm coming, and I've seen a lot of people, especially this week with this typhoon coming, nobody had their stuff tied down, or people were like, oh, I'll get one jug of water. If it had actually been a big typhoon, they would have needed a lot more than that, and they wouldn't have been prepared.
Let's talk about typhoons, because we know we're going to get typhoons.
Yes.
Now, this is just me, okay? It seems to me that there's a lot of overreaction, like the commissary mad runs that some people make.
Always.
And then there's underreaction, like I will inevitably see a garbage can bouncing down the road during the middle of a typhoon.
I saw a trampoline bent in half after typhoon last year. They hadn't even tied down their trampoline.
What are some of the things that you see the most mistakes people make when it comes to a typhoon?
They don't know what they need before it happens. People just
not being prepared.
Not being prepared, yes, sir.
Not being prepared. Yeah. It's preparing for the worst is the best thing you can do.
Even for a typhoon.
Even for a typhoon.
What is worst with the typhoon?
We recommend that you be prepared to shelter in place without any assistance from the outside for a minimum of 3 days.
Now that includes like
water,
being able to cook.
Being able to cook, or at least having food that doesn't require cooking for 3 days.
That's a good thought.
Plenty of water, and everybody hears about filling up your tub with water, and a lot of people say, "I'll never need that much water." But what they need to think about is, what about flushing?
Or just
If the water goes out,
Exactly.
you know,
don't
you
wanna
can use
your
it for
drinking
flushing
water.
and for
Right.
washing, and you can also use it for drinking if,
And
when you take it
please,
and sanitize
flushing.
it, boil it first before you drink it.
I hadn't thought about it. That could be a big issue.
Yes, it could be a very big issue. You're talking, you know, a great deal of comfort involved in that,
Wow. I
being
don't
able to
even- I
flush,
don't
but if
know.
your water goes out. Had a typhoon last year that came up around the south side, got on the west side, and stalled, and just sat there. And people were stuck in their homes for 36 to 40 hours. And people ran out of food because they were not prepared. And they were going to their neighbors in the storm trying to get food.
Or you'll see
And-
people at the commissary with tons of frozen items. You know, they're stocking up for the whole week.
Yeah,
with all
and
this
then they
frozen,
lose power.
And then we're going to lose power, and then they don't have any of the non-perishables
And
that
they,
you
and they
actually
can't
need.
cook it. And
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Or a can opener. Lots of people have those electric can openers. If your power goes out, how are you going to open your cans? They don't think about things like that in your kids. So.
you need a place with a list.
Yes.
You need a list.
Like our
You need a
office.
list.
You guys got a list, right?
We got lists
Right.
galore, yes.
I bet you got a list of classes.
We've got
We
lists
do.
of classes.
What are some of the classes? I know you're real proud of your classes.
We are. We have a lot of classes. We have a babysitter's course that we offer for children. So
Is
that
this
it can-
required?
It
or-
is required on base.
Really?
Yes, you can't just go in there and just babysit your neighbor's kids. This one teaches first aid, how to handle children. You know, 'cause a lot of kids think they can babysit, and they go in and they go to their neighbor's house, and you know, little Susie doesn't want to listen to them, and they're calling their mom 15 times because they weren't prepared. They
Right.
thought they could just walk in and babysit. So this class also gives them a free, well, not free, well, with the class, it's involved a infant pediatric CPR class,
Okay.
which is always, I know, as
Is there an
far
age
as
limit
I
for
am.
being able to take that kind of class?
11 to, it says
11 to
18,
17.
but 11 to 17.
Yeah.
You can't actually babysit on base by yourself until you're 12.
Okay. All right.
So you
All
can't
right.
have your 9-year-old neighbor babysitting your 4-year-old. It's just not.
It's
not
not
kosher.
cool, as
It's
we
not
say.
cool.
as
That's
the
right.
kids
It's not
say.
legal. It's not
Oh,
legal.
it's not legal.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not legal
Well,
on
then-
base. No. And you see it a lot. You see a lot of people like, oh, I'm just running to the store, but it really is not. It's a safety issue.
What other classes you got you're proud of?
We have pediatric and infant CPR. We have adult CPR. Speaking of pets, we have a, what is it, just dogs and cats CPR class that we offer. As a spouse, I'm really proud that we have a dental assistant program that's offered through the
Yeah,
hospital.
we were talking about that earlier. That seems pretty amazing. I mean, this is something that you
is.
have throughout the year,
It's throughout the year. There usually is a
different
waiting
times,
list.
different. Well, how long does the class normally last?
6 months.
6 months.
6 months. So this is a serious class.
Over 900 hours of chair-side education on how to be a dental assistant.
Well, you got
And
to
it's
charge
a real
something
they
for
give
that,
you a
right?
real certification and real on-the-job training.
No,
It's free.
Free?
Free,
Free thing for anybody, SOFA status, right?
yeah. If they're,
So you could walk into any dentist office anywhere and lay down this certificate, and they know.
and
that
you can get hired, yes.
Yes.
Now, there, as far as, it's not a certification, it's a certificate of completion of training.
Okay.
And that's very important. There are some states back home that will take this certification and allow you to sit for their state boards where you can become certified.
Ah, okay.
Other states may require some additional classes that you take before you can actually sit for their state boards.
Yeah.
But this provides you with all of the
foundation
hands-on
anyway.
training
Sure.
that you will need in order to sit for state boards and become board certified.
Wow.
There are dentists who can hire you based on just that, and then a lot of them will assist you in getting your certification through the state boards because it's beneficial to them as well. And it's a highly recognized program throughout the United States, and it's well known among dentists that the Red Cross has this exceptional dental training program.
Yeah. And 6 months. It's a 6-month
it's a
course.
6-month
and you
course.
do it here on the island.
Here on the island. They usually do it at the medical group here on Kadena. Or we also
Or,
have them on
yep,
different
At
stations.
Foster, they have dental programs there. They work out of Kinser, they work out of Courtney, and they work out of Foster and out of Kadena, and they provide excellent, excellent training.
And it's a great free tool for spouses.
I'm telling
Like
you.
we were
that's-
talking about earlier, there's a lot of spouses that we move a lot. And we start one program and we start another, and then finally you just feel like you really haven't had any actual job training, or you don't know where to go. You followed, your husband's
Yeah,
career.
yeah.
What are you going to do? So I think it's a really great opportunity for spouses to get some training, and then you go to the next base and you actually have some kind of job stability.
You you got a career, really.
That's right. That's right. And you can transfer it, you know, get your dental assistant, and then you can also do dental hygienist later on if you really like it. And you're not having any money.
Don't most of the time you have to pay for a class like that?
You do. You do. In the States, I believe they're upwards of $8,000 for your dental assistant.
$8,000.
Yes. Most diploma programs and certificate programs such are pretty expensive, and this one's free for people. So it's a good tool to have.
What else you got over there? That's a good one.
We have
the combined CPR, AED, and first aid course.
ADD.
That's the artificial defibrillator.
Oh, okay.
It's
Clear.
Clear, yes,
Okay.
exactly.
All right, gotcha.
Teach you how to use those. And as well as to do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and CPR on people, and a basic first aid course comes along with it. And the certification for that now is for 2 years for each. Used to be 1, now we've extended it on to 2. And we now, when people sign up for classes, and we'll talk about that in a minute, they sign up on a computer program, and they get reminders every 3 to 6 months, and then they can go to this website and they can review their skills and such, so they can maintain that training over that 2-year period of time.
Well, the Red Cross is, you guys are big. I mean, I guess at the foundation it is volunteers, right?
Absolutely.
Y'all volunteer is the backbone.
97% of all of the work done by the Red Cross is done by our volunteers. And our paid staff, and there's about 25,000 paid staff, and we facilitate the volunteers so that they can carry out the Red Cross mission.
And recruit the volunteers.
Absolutely, yes. We
Which is
recruit,
what
the
you guys-
volunteers recruit.
You
We
guys
do.
recruit volunteers?
I think
All the
that
time.
people get a big misconception as far as volunteers. They're just volunteering at a certain event, or they're volunteering for some of the runs around the
Right.
island, the marathons. It isn't.
Right.
Volunteer work can also lead to job placement. It can give job training.
Right.
We can place them anywhere on Kadena, the hospital, the schools, the Hawk, anywhere that maybe there's a spouse out there that wanted some kind of training that she hasn't done before, or looking into a job that she's never done before, or he has never done before. And this is a really great opportunity to get out there, get involved with your community, and get some training while you're at it.
Yeah, and not only that, it's even if it's not a career thing, just learning like you had talked
Important
about your
skills, yeah.
your volunteer team, your tag or
DAT
team.
DAT team.
Disaster, yeah.
I mean, that's important stuff. That
Yes.
not only is good to be a part of an organization where you can do that, but just the knowledge that you can take with you. That's
Absolutely.
so valuable.
And utilizing the knowledge you've already obtained. People come overseas, there are not a lot of jobs available for people. By volunteering, they can maintain their job skills, and they can put this on their resumes when they do apply for jobs later to show that they were not just sitting around being idle. They were utilizing their skills. They were learning new skills, and they were doing it as a volunteer. And employers look very highly upon people who are willing to give freely of their time to help other people,
Right.
because these people make better employees, because they know that employee is going to be willing to help other employees do better.
Right.
So it's an excellent resume building tool as well.
And it gets you out of the house.
Yeah,
You
so
hear that a
laying
lot
on the
from
couch,
spouses.
is
That's
not
right. You
good
hear a lot.
resume material.
You hear a lot from spouses here, and they're like, "Oh, there's nothing to do. I don't know anybody, or I'm new here." Come to the Red Cross, volunteer in some aspect, any aspect in your child's school or in the hospital or something. And you'll meet people, get out of your house, and get some valuable skills.
Yeah.
People may think, "Oh, I got a toddler. I don't have time. That sort of thing." We provide child care reimbursement for our volunteers. So if they need to get a babysitter or put them into the CDC while they come volunteering, we'll reimburse them up to $100 a month, which is about
We just
20
raised it.
hours a month.
125.
Yeah, we just
just
raised it.
Bumped it up.
We
Yeah,
did.
we
We just
We
raised
bumped it
it.
up.
And our leadership positions actually pay out $200 a month.
Yeah, because
for
they're
our
required to put in
leadership.
a minimum number of hours.
They
But,
are.
it gets them out of the house. They can talk with adults. They can learn new job skills. They can build their resume. And know that their kid is being taken care of at the same
That's
time.
right.
And they don't incur any financial deficit, because we'll reimburse them.
And it doesn't have to be a CDC or an FCC.
No, they can.
as
The
far as
next door
being
neighbor can
reimbursed as
babysit
well.
if they want.
Okay.
We will
That way they
reimburse.
can go with
Family
someone that they
childcare
trust.
program or anything.
It can.
Anything
It
costs
can
you
be
money.
anything. It can be anything. I think it's a good morale builder for spouses. You know, you get out there, you get involved in your community, you're not having to worry about the child care part of it.
And the cost of the child
care. Exactly. And you're getting valuable work experience from it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, one last thing that I wanted to talk about is, I know for people that live overseas, and a lot of us have elderly parents, or there is some emergency back in the States, usually a death or a sickness. And used to be in the past, they would go to the Red Cross there, and somehow they get connected here. You think you got to do it to get on emergency leave or all that. How's all that work nowadays? There is an emergency contact.
Emergency communication.
Is there still a program like that going on?
Absolutely. It's one of it's our primary mission overseas, is to facilitate the delivery of emergency communications messages.
Okay.
This goes to the service member and their command. We provide verified information so that the service member and command can make informed decisions regarding their leave.
Okay.
We have made some great strides in updating that. Just over the last year and a half, we have opened up 4 call centers in the United States. And these call centers, they're manned by a great number of people. And you can call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Back in the States, if some of my family members, they have a crisis, they can call this call center.
One number.
That's right.
It's not like a form. Used to be a big long form.
Used to be.
We have a form that that family members here can fill out, that they can give to their family stateside.
So they got information.
It's right, because a lot of people know that, oh, my son or my daughter is in the Air Force, but they won't know your squadron. They don't know anything else about you to get a hold of you. There could be, 15 Garys on this base.
But you don't have to have like the doctor or the hospital or anybody like that get involved in this anymore?
Well, actually we do. That's all part of the verification process.
Okay.
For example, if someone is sick, we'll contact the doctor taking care of them and get what's called a doctor's interpretive statement. Includes the prognosis, the diagnosis, their current condition, if it's life-threatening or not, and whether the doctor recommends presence. In the event of a death, we'll contact coroners or the funeral home and get verification from an authority. In the event of a birth, we'll get the stats on the birth, the sex, the size, the weight, that it's in good shape, or if it's got any problems, we'll relay that information as well. But we also do families involved in disasters back home. For example, tornadoes or a hurricane or something hits and power's out, and people, people here, you can't figure out what's going on. The family there can contact the Red Cross and send a message to the service member, letting them know that they're safe and providing them with contact information. If the legal matters come up, we can do some legal matters, child care situations, a variety of emergency situations that service members need to know about their families back home, so that they may need to respond to.
So even the family members back in the States need to know about this call center?
Yes.
And because it goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
Yes.
We provide information at all of our information booths to military personnel, to DOD civilians and their families and spouses, to DODEA, the DODS teachers and everything. We take care of anybody having anything to do with the American mission overseas. As far as American citizens, organizations, even private contractors. For example, American Engineering or someone, we can handle emergency messages for them and their families back home.
Basically, if they're a citizen?
Not necessarily if they're just a citizen. If they've been associated with the military, or they're working for or under contract with the military.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. We could talk about this stuff all day, I'm sure. Is there anything that you guys want to hit on that maybe we didn't talk about?
2 quick numbers, 877-272-7337.
Now, 87, that's an area code then.
877 area code.
Okay.
272-7337. That's a number we pass out a lot.
That's in the
that will get you to any one of those 4 call centers.
Okay.
You can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Somebody will pick up.
So this is the number you need to let mom and dad back home.
Let the family back home know that.
In our office.
They can pick up cards. They can pick up flyers from us. We'll be glad to send them that information. If they want to ask us questions, Kadena, Kadena, @ redcross.org. They can send us an email, or they can call our office at 634-1979, and we'll be glad to answer any questions they have. We also sell disaster kits, first aid kits. We've got a variety of emergency preparedness stuff that we sell. We can assist them in getting additional stuff if they need it.
Sell it? You mean
Yeah, we have it
already
on.
put
We'll have it on hand.
Really?
You need a good first aid kit with 1,000 pieces in it? Come on by. We'll fix you right up. You just want a small one for the car with 100 or 200 pieces in it? We got that taken care of
And
too.
they are fairly inexpensive.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
They're
are.
not
Very
like the ones you
reasonable.
can buy online that are
and-
upwards of $100. They're not like that.
Or
Emergen-
trying to pull your own together, you
Yeah.
always
Sure.
are going to forget
You'll
something.
forget something. We have emergency radios that run off solar power, which is a nice thing to have. And these radios you can also use to charge up your cell phone.
Now, you're talking about over there in your,
In the office.
In our little
your
office.
building. You got all that in there.
Yep,
Yep.
we're located right next to Jack's place.
We know
Near
Jack.
Gate
We
1.
love that
Right,
place.
Yes.
right by Kadena
yes.
Gate 1.
Yeah, right inside the gate. You have to right off to the right. It's kind of
Yeah,
tricky
if
over
you're
there
coming
now, right?
from off base, come on in and take the first right. You have to go down a little bit to turn right.
Right, yeah. 'Cause
And you come on down, when you get to the end of that street, you're looking straight at our building. You can't
Right.
miss it.
It's the old transportation office.
old
We
transportation.
took over that
yeah,
building. A
for
lot of people
Dodge.
will know it
Yeah.
for the Dodge
Yeah.
bus transportation office, or where they went to apply for school lunch, reduced lunches
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have that building.
It looks like it used to be like just a house, really, right?
Yeah,
Just
it
a
used to be a house. They
Sure.
converted
the
it into an
residence
office.
that it's a,
And that's where we teach
Sure.
all of our classes. We've got our own classroom.
well, it's something you need to know anyway.
That's right.
Swing by.
Come on down, just stop in, say hello.
Cup of
you
coffee?
We'll give you a cup of
There we
coffee,
go.
a nice
That's right.
cold bottle of water in the summertime. You're out,
Okay.
jogging or walking your stroller, stop on in.
Well, I am going to check on those kits because that's the best way to do it. That way it's right there.
We buy them in bulk, so we keep the prices down.
Okay.
And they
Well, what is
even
what
come
is a
with
good
little
first
first aid pamphlets to tell you how to take care of different
Yeah.
things.
What is, what's your biggest first aid kit cost?
I think the 1,000-piece kit is like $25.
Yeah, it's relatively inexpensive.
Wow.
The smaller
Yeah.
kit's 15, I believe.
Yeah, 10 to
Give or take,
$15.
something like
We
that.
got one kit for $10, $10 to $25, depending upon the size. And like I say, there's a lot of things in there.
Well,
Sure.
I hope you hope you're ready. 'Cause
Yeah, I just
Because
put in a new
with the
order.
typhoons
Always
that
putting
we've
in
had,
orders. We're always
Yes.
ordering stuff
you know,
year round.
everybody's getting mindful of that stuff now.
They need to
so-
be. They need to be.
And so now's the time to get proactive about it. Get ready.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
Those that survive the best are the ones that prepare first.
Wow, that almost sounds like a saying or a
Survival of the
slogan.
Just thought that up.
Wow, we use you in marketing.
That'll be on our cards next week. We'll
Yeah.
We'll have to redo that.
That's
right.
I forgot it. Well, all right.
have to
well,
play it back so we can write it down.
Thank you guys so much for coming. This
Thank
is an
you.
important show. Let's get together a couple, 3 times a year and
Yeah.
talk.
Okay.
I know you've got some events.
Yeah, we've got rug
do.
auctions in spring and fall. We've got Derby
Derby
days. Need to
days.
come back and
Derby
talk about
days.
Derby days. Big event.
Yes.
Big event. Over 1,100 people this past year came out and watched people race down Douglas Boulevard in the cars that they would build to help
Yeah.
raise money.
Well, please come when that gets close. Come by, get a cup of coffee, and we'll
It's
talk
good
shop.
coffee, too.
Yeah, we'll talk shop. We'll bring pictures of this year's event to share with people.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, good. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
My
And
pleasure.
Erica, nice to meet
Thank
you.
you.
You're fairly new, right?
I am fairly new. I've been with the Red Cross now for 5-6 months.
Okay.
So I'm still learning all the classes and what we do have. And
Okay. Well, once you
been a
get
pleasure.
once you get it down,
I will.
You come
I'll
see
be
us.
back and I'll be like, yeah, I know
You
how
don't
much
have to
that
bring him.
class costs. That's
Yeah.
right.
you can come without him.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
because anyway, I'm not gonna. I've done my ugly filter joke enough with Gary.
That's right.
Yes.
All right, well, that'll
That's
do
right.
it for this Cup of Joe. Thanks for watching. And remember, I think you said you can put water in your garbage can to keep it from flying down the road. Go do it right now. See you next time. Bye.
Told Daniel down in the lion's den, send him right on down, put him on back again. The Lord told Moses to get the people out of Pharaoh's land. He said, all you gotta do is put your life in God's hand. One time Methuselah, 950 59 years old. He said, put your hands in mine.